What's going on, guys? Dudley here, and welcome back to another episode of Road to Division 1. And we're heading right into a match, and when I saw this team, I was very pleasantly surprised because it's a nice team. It has Chikawi, which I've always wondered how people kind of put him into that team, and he kind of had Bundesliga players around him, and he had Spanish Bundesliga players around him, which means he was able to use Spanish players, and then Serie A. It was all very well thought out. So he had a Bundesliga, whatever league Chikawi is in, and Serie A. So that was really cool. I like the team, but unfortunately for him, it was not going to be an easy game. We go 2-0 up in the 32nd minute, and it wasn't very hard for me to break him down. He kind of didn't seem to... He wasn't very used to people running at him right away, and I think that's something that everybody has to get used to because it's very easy to score from kickoff if you just sprint past everyone because everybody sits so far back. It's really awkward the way the game starts. So if you don't move a center midfielder into the midfield before kickoff or as soon as it starts, you're going to have a tough time defending that. And the best way to defend that is not to sprint at the player because, number one, if you sprint at him, he's going to be able to change directions, and you're not going to be able to change directions as fast as he is. So don't sprint at him. What I would do is I would track back in the direction that he's running, so anytime he changes directions, you instantly correct yourself, and essentially you're always in front of him, making sure that he's not getting through you. So don't run at them, run with them. So we end up winning that game 7-0, which means that we do win the title in this division. Bravo. After 2 losses, we were able to pull it off, which is quite nice. I wish we hadn't lost those 2 times, but we did, and sometimes that happens. Unfortunately, Olic is injured, which means we do have to switch over to the BBVA team, which is by far my favorite team. I really love the Bundesliga. I did last year, but that was my favorite team that I had. Royce, Aubameyang, I believe it was, I can't think of my right winger, but anyways, in this team it seems to be my favorite team so far is the BBVA team. I really like Sergi. He is an absolute monster, and I'm definitely going to have to build another team around him after we sell these teams on. But we start off the scoring in the cup match with Baca, and this is the Champions Cup. I always call it the Gold Cup because I get a gold pack out of it, and it's also a Gold Cup because you have to use gold players or below because I guess there's nothing higher than gold. But yeah, I always refer to it as the Gold Cup, but it is called the Champions Cup, and we go 2-0 up after a goal from Sergi to make it 2-0. And this team is just outrageous. I really like the way it works. The passing's good. Sergi absolutely dominates the midfield right there. Sergi again bending it in right past the keeper. Again, this guy seems to take a shot from anywhere. However, I do stupidly give up a penalty, and that's something that I've been struggling with recently. Whenever they're in the box, even if you tap B once and you're in the box, if your center back is not a good center back, chances are your center back's going to bring them down, and that's not something that you want to be doing constantly. So what I would suggest for that is if you're in the box and you have a center back that maybe isn't very high rated, what I would suggest is try to get in front of them or try to get on their good side of goal and essentially prevent them from shooting, because what happens quite a bit is that for whatever reason, if your center back is not good, you will bring them down, give away a penalty, and it's essentially if you had not defended at all. Now, you're probably wondering and saying, why is this lagging so much? This is how I played this game. This game was this laggy the entire time, and I'm telling you, I think it was like the first half was done, and I had already been playing for 19 minutes. And if you guys don't know, which you guys probably don't unless you time yourself playing, a game of FIFA is usually 19 minutes, 16 to 19 minutes, first and second half, assuming you don't go into extra time where it usually goes up to like 25 minutes, and if you go all the way to penalties, it might even end up being around 30 minutes. However, with one half, I had essentially played one game of FIFA in real time, except for, of course, I hadn't. So somehow I'm able to score through this horrible lag. And the worst part is that this guy was on the mic, and he knew we were lagging, and he knew it was his issue, and he refused to leave the game even after 3-0 down. And we continue to score games, and he still refuses to leave the game. Like, at this point, at 4-0 down in the first half, I think I would have been like, alright, look, I'm lagging out of my mind. I can't seem to play. I'm gonna quit. And he does not. He then gets a free kick with Schweinsteiger, and I thought it was a really close free kick. I thought it was going to be difficult to take, but he had absolutely no problem, and he makes it 4-1 after that goal. And yeah, overall, this game was just really annoying. This is how the game was. It was essentially a slideshow of pictures, and I could not believe that this guy would not leave the game. But anyways, it ended up 4-0. He actually did end up lagging out. He did not quit. And yeah, that's essentially where we're at this point in Road to Division 1. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys missed the last video, the link to that will be in the description below. Other than that, have a great day or night, depending on when you're watching this. Peace.